All right, dude. Let's just do that. We're gonna listen. I was like, people sent this to me. It was like, it was basically, it's from Destiny. It says he's mad. Sneako confronts Abba, then rage quits, calls Gideon. You know, I'm only gonna watch half of this up until Sneako rage quits. I'm curious enough to watch it. And I'm also kind of, you know, over this topic, but I did watch the Abba call out on Sneako. This is the last time you guys are going to coerce me into watching Sneako, okay? Every time we talk about him, he stays relevant. He's like Beetlejuice. He keeps saying his name 3 times. All right, let's let this person go away. Just let him go away.
You so Sneako, you should have listened.
If you have an issue with it, you can voice it. Go ahead.
Why are you coming in so hostile, man?
Well, no, hold on. To be clear, wait. I came to this call to argue. Really? Did he really just? Oh, he mad. Well, what's up?
He mad.
Sneako Abba here.
Whoa, some crazy volume here.
Oh no, he's getting sturdy.
Actually, I'm over here instigating. That boy Sneako, he pissed right now. He's been mad all day.
Oh shit.
He's been mad. Look, he's
Abba's been riding too high on a lot of drama recently. Okay, between Ethan and Hassan and Sneako, I think something needs to knock Abba down a peg or two. His head's getting pretty big, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, y'all can feel free to start any second now. I'll say everything I said before. I'll say
who are these other 2 people in the call? I wonder.
I'll say the motherfucker. I don't care.
I'm not watching the full thing. I'm gonna stop after we hit like once Sneako leaves. I'm not gonna watch anymore.
The same energy, so y'all feel free to voice your discontent.
Yeah, talk your shit, Abba.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Didn't Sneako was the first one to start talking shit though, right? Like on his, like before he got banned, he's like, I won't talk about this, blah 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 blah. He's a bot, he's blue pilled, basically just insulting him, calling him unintelligent and just like a sheep. And then after he was banned, this is the pretext to what happened. After Sneako got banned, he kept like talking shit, messaging Abba, and then Abba kind of like lost it and finally said, you know what, screw it, I'll talk about your ban deplatforming, and then pretty much told him that it was his fault and that everybody was telling him to cool off, and he kept going, and then he got banned. That's pretty much it, man.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I'm just vibing. This is Gideon. I don't know, what were you guys talking about before here? Factorio?
Well, you said you wanted to join and talk to Abba.
That was Gideon. That wasn't me.
Oh. Well, Gideon, what do you want to say to Abba?
Gideon, what do you want to say to Abba?
Then we gonna switch up.
Okay, wait, hold on, real quick, because wait, real quick. I just got home, so I haven't watched any videos yet. You guys aren't all like talking mad shit on Twitter and YouTube videos, and now that you guys are in the same room, nobody wants to say anything, right? That's not what's happening right now, is it?
Well, I mean, listen, I said what I said.
Sounds like exactly what's happening.
So there's an issue with what I said, so we can talk about it.
Abba's made several videos.
Did he make several, or did he make one video?
Saying some tasteful things about me.
Was it several, or was it one video?
Okay, well, Abba, what do you want to, Sneako, do you want to take him to task? Do you want to fight on a particular topic, or what?
Well, no, it does well. It does well. Saying negative things about me is good content. So I understand.
Oh, he's saying he's just doing it for content. I think it was really just one video. It was really just one video. In fact, this is one of the things I was kind of annoyed about, is that in this video where it's like red pill leaders exposed as being fragile, it was basically about DJ Academics, and Sneako was there too, like cock riding DJ Academics. Like DJ Academics, like it's basically was like, insult that girl, and then he's like, okay, and then he like had like a little bit of like a, you know, spaz moment. But they didn't even criticize Sneako in here. They showed some of the things that he did, but they didn't even criticize him. And I was like, dude, can you guys like actually criticize this guy? He's like a big fucking man-child. And then they finally like did, I guess, after Sneako called him out. So they haven't been making multiple videos. If anything, this is the first time they've ever criticized him. They've been pulling punches from him. And I know it's because they're friends. Like, I get it. I'm not like shitting on him or anything. This is the first time that they actually said like, you know, fuck it, let's go after this guy. So it looks like they talked about Ethan Klein. Gets devoured by the monster he'll create. Ben Shapiro or something. Yeah, it's kind of true. Anyway, yeah.
Go ahead. I mean,
what do you mean? You saw the video, so if you have an issue with it, you can voice it. Go ahead.
Why are you coming in so hostile, man? I understand why you're doing it.
Well, he was popping the gritty on Abba. Of course you're gonna come in hostile. If anybody's ever popping the gritty on me, that's instantaneous. Like, we're fighting, bro. Look at this guy. He was popping the gritty on him. Did you not see that earlier? Look at this man.
So I'm here for it.
I said before.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at it. He's hitting the.
Look, he's trying.
You got to go in full heat.
It's the highest amount of views is one in where I,
feel better. Abba, go ahead. I mean,
what do you mean? You saw the video, so if you have an issue with it, you can voice it. Go ahead.
Why are you coming in so hostile, man? I understand why you're doing it. It's good content. Your viewers like to see it. They're like, yeah, Abba, you're the moral police.
This is why it's like boring, because Sneako can't take criticism. He's a fucking baby.
You stay consistent, Abba. You make me feel better.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Speaking about me is so, it works, whatever, your passive aggressive voice. You realize the video that I did on you that has the highest amount of views is one in where I agree with you and I show you love?
No, the recent one though, like the last 3 you did in the past week.
You didn't do 3 on Sneako, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
What about the last one I did? I just told you. You made the claim that negativity sells, so I understand why you did it, you know, for the views or whatever. And I'm telling you that the highest viewed video that I have actually talking about you and what you were doing is a video where I show you love. So what is your reply?
What's the video where you show me love?
The video in which you were confronting some feminists on one of your 1-minute podcast interviews.
You were showing me love?
I was agreeing with you. I was literally.
Does that mean that Sneako doesn't watch anything unless it's a negative on him? Is that what we're hearing right now?
Going against the person that you were talking about and saying why you were making sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Right now, at this point, it's very profitable to say like, "I told you so, Sneako. You should have listened to me."
Well, everybody was saying that shit.
I know better, and fresh and fit's bad.
Okay. Yes, I did tell you so, Sneako.
I mean, everyone, Gideon said that, Destiny said that, Andrew Tate said that, Bradley Martin said that. Everybody was aware that the way I'm talking is going to get me canceled, but you were incorrect about a lot of the information that you talked about. It wasn't that clip from me simulating or telling the feminist that she needs to get laid more. It was just an accumulation of a lot of misinformation.
Like what?
Real quick, on my opinion on that, the reason why I think it was that clip, and I understand.
I thought it was that clip too, and people were like shitting on me for it. But I thought it was that clip too, where he was like harassing Chad. That was sexual harassment. Like he was simulating a rough intercourse, and it's like I know it wasn't simulating sexual assault like other people have said it was, but it was still like harassment. So he got pulled down, and it is what it is, dude. Like fucking stop being a pussy, you know.
You might get banned for a particularly different thing, but when I'm trying to figure out why somebody got banned, I feel like the public makes the mistake in that they look at like, what did you violate in the TOS and what was the ban reason? But I think the most important thing is what catches people's attention, because once people have like your attention, like now you're gonna get banned for some shit. So like on Twitch,
that's true for sure.
For instance, I probably got banned for some random transphobic thing or whatever. I guess I don't know what they just said hate speech, but the reason I got banned was for fighting with Keffels, because if I wouldn't have had that fight with Keffels, I wouldn't have had all the people mass reporting me and their eyes on me, etc., etc. But it was because of that fight that I got banned. So like I feel like when you made that video, you remember that one curly haired kid that made the like we need to ban Sneako for abusing women, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Nick is not green.
I think just from what I've seen, I could be wrong, but that seemed like the thing that got a lot of people like super riled up on Twitter and YouTube.
Well, I don't think it was just that. I think of that, and then I think the Brandon Buckingham shit got him real riled up. So here's the thing. I think that the Nick is not green video got people that don't like Sneako riled up. And I think the Brandon Buckingham video where, you know, again, Sneako asserted that Brandon Buckingham threatened to sexually assault his girlfriend, even though that's not what happened. He lied about that objectively. I think that got Sneako's own people pissed off at him. I think that's what got it. So I think that it's not just the people who don't, it's not just Sneako detractors. People who like Sneako are like, oh, this guy's a hypocritical piece of shit, and that's what I think like ultimately did it. And because like it was a coincidence that Brandon dropped this video, and then like the next day, all of a sudden Sneako was gone. You know, it's a little too, because this Nick is not green video was like a month or two prior. So
YouTube and shit, trying to like call for people to ban you and shit. So if I'm curious if that was like the thing that led everybody mass reporting and shit. But I could be wrong, but.
I mean, just to let the stream know, I am collaborating on a new channel ran by my editor. I'm frequently on there live streaming. He has me as a guest. So you can go find there. That's a way that I'm going to be able to stay on YouTube.
I thought he said he didn't need YouTube. Why is he trying to stay on YouTube then?
Just collaborating as a guest on new platforms. That's where you can find me. There's a new channel that's doing pretty well right now. So go.
Collaborating as a guest. We know that's a ban evasion, but who really cares? Some other people have done that before. It's whatever. It's just kind of funny because he said he didn't need it. You know.
Subscribe to there if you missed the whole content.
What's the name of the new channel?
It's just called Sneako.
Okay.
I thought Soldier of God, it pops up.
It's just called Sneako?
Oh, okay.
That's fucking...
I guess that's like register.
Yeah, it's pretty shadow banned right now. It's hard to find, but yeah, I bet you could do some research.
Shadow banned? Well, why would it be shadow banned? Why wouldn't they just remove it? How do you get a channel with this name Sneako on here? That's a little curious. Huh. All right, well, good for him, I suppose.
All right, well, you and Abba, you're here. This is it, the big showdown.
I don't know. Obviously, it has a lot of 30-minute videos. I just was curious if he still had stuff to say while we're in the call.
No, I said everything I had to say. I mean, it's just a repetition of what I told you.
I didn't really watch the video. I saw the beginning of it. I'm like, okay, he's doing the thing that a lot.
All right, so then why are we talking about this? This is so boring. Oh, I didn't actually watch the video. I watched like 2 seconds of it. Okay, so then why are you pissed about shit if you didn't watch the whole video? This kid can't take any fucking criticism.
A lot of people are doing right now. I get it.
Cool. Well, if you didn't watch it, then we good.
People aren't really doing it.
Not
for nothing, but people aren't really doing it anymore. People are this is such a boring topic, bro. I don't even know why I'm doing this. People are gonna be like, "Pop, you're being a fucking loser if I cover something you don't really care about." Yeah, I'm just curious. It's true. I am a fucking loser, bro. I'm a fucking loser. I don't know what else to say, dude. I'm just curious.
Well, maybe
you know what it is? It's like I'm curious, but I'm not gonna watch it offline because I'm gonna be fucking real with you guys. I could get paid to just react to stuff online, so why am I gonna watch it off stream? You know what I mean? I'm being serious. So it's like, if I'm gonna move with a purpose. That's what I learned as a youngster. Always move with a purpose. So, hey, if I hate to watch it, if I'm gonna fucking watch it, you know what I mean?
You could have told me instead of making another hit piece video, like, while everyone's against me right now, while Big Tech's against me, all these soy boys, you could have sent a text or call before making all these videos.
Hold up. So
Big Tech's not against Sneako. They don't care about this.
Texted you before I talked about the DJ academic stuff, and I texted you before. You remember I texted you, and I barely talked about you in that video. One.
True.
Two. I didn't even make this video until you called me and you said, yo, how can we talk about this but not my deplatforming? I said, oh, well, if you want me to talk about the deplatforming, then I will. I already make the video before that. You told me to talk about it, and now that I've talked about it, you're like, well, why did you make a video about it?
I didn't tell you to talk about it. I said that on a commentary channel where you frequently talk about drama and like people you know in the community, that may be talking about how this is a problem that everybody can get wiped from all these platforms, and then also single out something that makes me look bad and makes it look like I'm committing essay on camera. That's really not the reason. I was banned off of pretty much every single social media site. It has nothing to do with that. I think that's a bigger issue than trying to...
There's Brandon Buckingham. I will say one thing, though. It does feel like everybody is for some reason intentionally avoiding talking about Brandon. I feel like it's intentional. I feel like there's an actual... I feel like people, they're not even... It's a factor. I feel like it's a factor. I feel like it's a bigger factor than a lot of people want to admit, and I feel like everybody's keeping Brandon Buckingham out of their mouths. Seems a little dishonest to me.
Equate it to like I told you so or fresh and fit. That's too simple of a video, but I understand it does well for your audience.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did it for the views. Anything else? There's nothing else to talk about. If you think I'm doing this because it's for views, then we have nothing to talk about. Why can I offer this conversation?
If it's not for views, why do you think you're doing it?
But you're already convinced of why I'm doing it. You're so sure that I'm doing it for the views. This is, again, what I spoke about the video. You are incapable of taking accountability. In your own final message, you're like, oh, KSI is hating. Oh, look at him gloating. And basically...
he was saying that KSI is celebrating his ban. And KSI is just like, oh, man, I knew this was going to happen. Like, the kid, Sneako, he can't even interpret information in front of his face correctly.
What he said in the clip is, I told him he's moving mad. I told him he's moving mad. And that's your idea. No. That's your idea of someone hating on you or making fun of you.
No, that clip was edited improperly. I didn't edit the video. He went on Twitter and he replied, who? When Keemstar said that Sneako was banned.
That was in the video, too. Who cares? That's not celebrating anything. Who cares?
On YouTube, he said, who? Question.
Celebrating is like throwing a fucking, like, yeah! He was just like, I knew this guy was going to get fucking banned. Okay.
Which I think, is making fun of the situation where I got banned because he clearly knows who I am. We went back and forth. And so he's just trying to gloat and he's trying to make it about power.
Okay, so let me...
Maybe, but that's not celebrating. Like, it's definitely like this kid's got fucking sensationalization brain over here.
Ask you, this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity right now. What do you think that you did wrong to contribute to your situation?
Of getting banned off of every social media platform?
Yes.
Tell the truth.
Okay, all right, then this is my case in point. That's why I made the video. You are unable to see the ways in which you contribute to your own outcomes, and you just think you're just telling the truth.
You are unable to see why I got the strikes. You didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about the first strike was COVID misinformation, the second strike was election misinformation, and the third one was cyberbullying for a clip that was not even what you played in the video. It had nothing to do with that.
Listen, once you made that clip on that...
There's another video of him cyberbullying? Like, well, okay. I mean, listen, I got a COVID strike too. I don't know what to tell you, bro. They were pretty against that. I wish that they weren't so against it, but you know what? We were in a big time of COVID. They decided to fucking hit people with fucking shit. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not happy about it. I forget what I said about the COVID vaccine. I really don't remember what I said. I think I don't remember at all what I said, but like, it is what it is. Like, then as far as the election thing, I don't even know what he's referring to specifically. It's hard to believe it because this kid doesn't really tell the truth a lot. So
that girl, you know what happens? She talks to her manager. Her manager goes to YouTube, and YouTube finds a way to go after you without making her implicated. The reason why they didn't cite that clip is they didn't want your fans to go after her so you can quote her. YouTube has good ways of working. They won't actually claim what it is exactly for. They understand you've broken the rules, and then they work backwards. You don't understand that once you made that video, YouTube was looking at you all kinds of crazy. Now, you don't need to believe that. You can believe it's something else. You can believe it's what's telling the truth. I'm just wondering, when are you going to come into this conversation and take accountability for why you are where you are?
You said yourself it was when I was being played in the Senate. It's much bigger than just one feminist getting mad at me.
Nobody, dude, that Senate should have nothing to do with it. That had everything to do with Nick Fuentes. This kid's such a victim.
So why haven't I been banned? Why hasn't Destiny been banned? Why hasn't anybody else on the is it because we're all bots?
Well, you play the middle ground. You don't really try to talk about stuff that's going to make people uncomfortable.
Okay.
You don't talk about the issues that you don't question the powers that be, and you don't talk about the uncomfortable truths that are really happening.
Okay, what about
Destiny? Wait, hold on. I gotta ask. Hold on.
What about Destiny?
Wait, hold on. To be clear, my advice to you is not the same, okay, as Abba, who's a bot, okay? My only advice typically is, and I think I'll repeat the same thing I said all the time, is, and I take this as my own advice, is only fight with one person at a time. I think I've even told you that on stream. I think off stream before. As long as you fight with one person at a time, usually okay. But when you start dipping into like 2 or 3 or 4 different communities, shit gets like really because like it's kind of Abba basically just resaid what I said before, or we're saying the same thing, that like when you do one really bad thing and people start to like, you catch their eye, people start to look for everything.
Actually, it's not bad advice because, like I was saying, like what we thought it was Chad and Brandon Buckingham, so he was already engaging with fights on like everybody. So that actually might have had something to do with it from like a infrastructure perspective or whatever.
Axe you off of anything. And you'll start getting, like, it's happening right now with a bunch of lefty YouTubers, actually me and Vosh, where people are just going through and, like, spam reporting every single video in our VODs because they don't like whatever shit. That's always, like, the thing to be careful of. But, like, hold on. When you say, like, I have to stand up for myself, okay, for a second. When you say, like, don't speak truth to power or don't, like, make people uncomfortable, you understand that when you're talking about me, that's a really silly thing to say, right?
You make people uncomfortable, but not the powers that be. Because it wasn't just YouTube. I was wiped off of every single social media platform except for Instagram. There's a reason that happened. There's a microscope on me.
Okay, well, hold on. I don't want to, like, make this a dick-weighting competition, but, like, I've been banned off TikTok, I've been banned off Twitter, I've been banned off Twitch. Like, how many social media platforms have you been banned off of?
All of them except for Instagram.
Same amount.
Have you? Oh, did you? Oh, speaking of Twitch, actually, real quick.
I got banned on Twitch for 2 days.
What was your ban for on Twitch?
Ban evasion.
Did you ever appeal that?
Yeah.
What did they say when you appealed?
They haven't replied. It's been like
what is ban evasion and how?
2 weeks.
That's weird.
Ban evasion for an account you never had before?
Yeah, because if you didn't have an account,
I never streamed on Twitch. No, so it's very clear that they don't want me. I'm talking about shit that they don't want to hear.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure somebody played that clip of you doing that to that girl, and they said, we don't want you doing that about Pokemon or anybody else, and they said, this guy gotta go.
Yeah, there you go.
I think it's bigger than that clip. I think that's simplifying it for the audience that you have. I think it's much bigger. I think you're overlooking the COVID and the election misinformation part, which the first 2 strikes I got that happened even before that clip happened.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't speak to those 2 strikes. I will say that anytime I heard you speak about COVID or when you were... Hold on. Let me finish. When I've heard you speak about COVID stuff or election stuff, you didn't know what you were talking about 95% of the time. I think there's a giant difference between
That's not true.
someone's talking about edgy research or things that are counter to the popular narrative, and then what you were doing was just rambling about shit you didn't know about. Yeah, you sound like a loony conspiracy theorist half the time you spoke about these. And if somebody else won't tell you, I will. So I'm not surprised they nailed you.
That is true, yeah. I mean, you have a lot of other people that were able to kind of question the vaccine, which, by the way, I thought was fair because, like, it came out fast, bro. It's some scary shit. We had COVID. It blew up fast. They came out with a vaccine. It felt like it came out really fast. I was fucking apprehensive about it. That might have been along the lines of what I had said to get banned, to get, like, my first warning on my channel. But, like, there, you know, people talking fucking crazy shit. Like, they've... I think Sneako was saying some wild shit about the fucking vaccine, bro. So yeah, man. I mean,
for that, there's sympathetic cases in which I think people make sensible cases against the COVID narrative, but you're not one of them. You were never one of them. You skipped information about it.
This information is being posted all the time online. You can make an Earth is flat documentary. You can make all these conspiracy theories, but why are only certain conspiracy theorists labeled as harmful, and why are only...
So that one's like really easy. You should know this regardless. Like, COVID was bad. I don't know. It killed a lot of people. I think the excess death rate in America over 3 years was like 1 million people, right? And just so you know, like that's how we may come up with these estimates of like how many people will pass to COVID. It was based on like excess mortality rates, right? So we have information about like, you know, how many people generally die every single year for the past like 50 or 60 years. And so the numbers spiked up and we had COVID going on. So we kind of assumed it was COVID, pretty reasonable assumption. Because it's a pandemic. It was going on in real time. They were extra harsh against some areas of misinformation because they didn't want people to die more. No, you thinking the Earth is flat has no negative impact on anything. It literally doesn't matter. COVID is a little bit different, right? Obviously, that's why things like Sandy Hook, that conspiracy that led to the parents of, you know, well, they were victims themselves, but the victims of their children dying, led them to get harassed to a point where they had to like move. That's another thing that we police. Obviously, we have to go in on that. We have to like be like, hey, this is fucked up because like parents are getting harassed. They already lost their kids. Now they're being harassed relentlessly. Like that's why some conspiracies are put more into question. When it comes to the conspiracy that Jews run the world, well, that type of mentality and logic led to the Holocaust. So of course you have to police some conspiracies more than others, right? The conspiracy that Chuck E. Cheese just puts different pies of their pizza together. You know, like you ever hear that conspiracy where they take leftover Chuck E. Cheese pizza and they put it together and they sell it? That's not really hurting anybody. Maybe it hurts Chuck E. Cheese's bottom dollar, but frankly, I don't care. But, you know, if anything, good for the environment, right? But when it comes to these other conspiracies that people can die from, it's different. Like they have to do something about it, right? And not everybody's going to be happy. You know what I mean? Like that's really what it boils down to. And this is very basic. I think everybody understands this. So
certain conspiracy theorists taken off and removed. If you think I sound like a lunatic, But why is it that mine is the one that gets removed and other people, it's fine?
No, people who spread nonsense conspiracies get removed off YouTube every day. They just don't get to be as big as you. They didn't come in on the platform on some other shit where they were doing 1 minute podcasts that were like very kosher, and then once they had a big platform, all of a sudden they start talking loony conspiracies. But I can assure you, YouTube removes every single day a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists who talk just as bad as you, if not much worse.
What did I say that was nonsense?
Bro, I'd watch you talk about COVID. I knew you didn't know what you're talking about.
What? Tell me something specific.
Bro, I'm not gonna pull up the clips. I just tell you
then
that.
don't say it's nonsense. Don't overwrite it as like lunatic conspiracy theories if you can't say one thing I said that's nonsense.
Well, so I mean,
well, so this is one of those problems. Is just like it's happened like this was like 3 months ago. So now all of a sudden, like bring up like the past. Like it's gonna be difficult to on hand come up with these conspiracies. It's a good question. I remember his conversation with Destiny, where he just literally refused to like he would just say that when Destiny was like, yeah, people have died from them. It was like masks. He's like, yeah, masks help prevent COVID. He's like, no, they don't. And he just kind of like shouting. It was insane. Like I'd have to rewatch some of the stuff before coming back into this, which I'm just not gonna do, because like I don't even know, the guy's fucking insane when it comes to watch the Destiny conversation with Sneako, like their first conversation. It was a great example of all the crazy fucking shit he was saying about COVID. You go watch it yourself. You know what I mean? It's pretty public knowledge at this point.
Hold on, so because I do a lot of vaccine studying, so like basically every comment you made about vaccines was like calling it the jab, saying that it was like government mandated shit that wasn't gonna help you or make you feel any better. I don't know if you used the word poison ever in regards to it, but like basically everything you had to say about it was even like it. So like here's like a comparison I make, and I hate this guy, and I disagree with him, but have you heard of like Brett Weinstein?
Yeah.
That dude is old. I'm pretty sure that guy is pretty vaccine skeptic, and he's talked about a lot of vaccine related issues, but I think he's still on. I think he literally has a show on YouTube. But he probably brings up like a lot of the points that filter down to you, but he says it in a way less inflammatory way. It doesn't sound like he's just like going crazy, like screaming about vaccine.
It's not really what you say, it's how you say it. Because Abed cannot give any specifics. He says overall it's nonsense, it's conspiracy theories, lunatic garbage. But if I'm saying similar things to Brett Weinstein and I removed it, it's pretty much
no. What you just said.
How you say it, not what you say.
What you just said.
If it triggers the bots, then they're going to remove it.
Yes.
If I'm too aggressive, if I'm too mean about it, then they got to remove it because people get.
Yeah, but what you just said is that's not only true on YouTube. That's true in life, right? Like how you say things sometimes is more important than what you say. In fact, you should know this from like your pickup artist shit, right? Or
well, you should know this from being a human being, like. Yeah, it's like anybody, you know, has your girlfriend ever said like, do I look fat in this dress before? And you could be like, yeah. Right, that's obviously you shouldn't say that. Or you could be like, yeah, you do. I like that thick ass, and you start smacking that. That's what you could do. Those are your I think it's just fundamental about like the way that you explain information is always has an impact on like how that information is received, right? Like we're adults, we understand this. Like this is like workplace etiquette. This is just life. Try to be like more reasonable and like less antagonistic, but that's the thing is that like part of Sneako's brand is to say things in an antagonistic way intentionally to garner attention. That's the point.
Or from like red pill stuff in terms of talking to women or whatever. Like
that's what Andrew Tate did, and he like basically admitted it, and he even said, "I wish I didn't do it like that." You know, and which I can respect from Andrew Tate because he like I don't think that everything he said was just to be antagonistic, but I think that some of it was just he might have been playing a goofy character, but at least he admits afterwards like I wish I was less antagonistic about my messaging. I'm like, oh, I can respect that because you know I think we've all been there. I've been there before where I've had antagonistic messaging and it's gotten me deplatformed, and like you know what I mean. It's like one of those things where like damn, you don't realize what you did until you did it, and all you could do is control what you can control. That's the thing of life, bro. It's like, you know, it's good to change things, but at the end of the day, all you could really do is police yourself. A lot of times you can't control what other people are going to do. For all you incel video game nerds, that's how video games are. Like when you're playing like League of Legends and you guys are losing, all you can really do is focus on what you could do better, right? That's life, man. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's not exactly what you say. Sometimes it's how you say things. But that's true everywhere. There's no place in life where that's not true, right? Like it's not like if I got a guy that I'm talking about, and some guy's like, "Oh, is this guy very smart?" And I'm like, "Of course he's not smart. He's a dumb fuck," right? That sounds a lot different than somebody saying like, "Is that guy smart?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, like he comes from like a really background. The guy never went to school, single mom or whatever. You know, like yeah, he doesn't know a lot about finance." But now I'm saying the same thing, but it's way fucking different, right? Somebody's gonna hear the first thing, they're gonna lose their mind. They're gonna say, like, "Oh yeah, shit, okay, of course I understand," right? Even if it's the same thing, like how you phrase things or how you approach things, it's not so much that you're giving different information; it's that it makes the intention behind the information look a lot different. So like there are some vaccine skeptic people that like I hear them talk and I hate what they say, but it's probably coming from like.
Hey, what's going on, brother? The foundation of all your Sneako arguments are contradictory. I've been covering Sneako for a while, so like, this is probably your first view on what I'm looking at, like, or this is probably your first view of what I'm saying about Sneako, because like I'm on YouTube now, so like I understand why you wouldn't look back at like all my old content, but like you're just objectively incorrect about this topic, so just gonna let you know that.
a decent place, like a well-meaning place. But there are other vaccine skeptic people I hear where it's like, oh, this guy's just like filled with like vitriol and hate, and that's all he's about. Not necessarily saying you're, but I'm saying like how you say things is pretty important.
Okay. I think I proved my point by saying Abba labeled me as a crazy lunatic conspiracy theorist and could not say one thing.
Yeah, because
why.
Well, Destiny just kind of proved him right. But
you know what? When I hear retarded shit, I try not to keep it in my memory. And you said so much retarded, dumb stuff on your streams. I just would erase it immediately afterwards.
For Destiny, you've heard this repeated in your panels. XQC said dumb shit. That other guy on the Muda, the Indian dude, said it's retarded. And every single time, I was like, okay, what's dumb about what I said? And nobody knows anything. They just don't like the way I said it, so they label it retarded and write it off instead of listening to what I'm saying. Because it doesn't matter to them. They'll lowbrow me because they're 35 and they think that they know more than what I'm talking about, and they've been brainwashed at this point where they don't feel like they need to listen to me. But it's fine.
You know, I remember when I was younger, and I forget who I was in an argument with, but I was in an argument with somebody. And I was right about what I was saying, right? And I had a coworker of mine, and he told me, he said, listen, man, at the end of the day, you proving to that other person that you're right, it's basically a lose-lose for you. Because based on the way that that guy's interacting, they're going to fail in life. And if you can explain to them how they're wrong, you're just going to help them become a better person. And it was interesting. And that's where we're at here, man. That's where we're at here. Communicating to Sneako that he's wrong, because he is wrong, isn't going to help anybody but Sneako. But why bother trying anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's lost in the sauce, bro. And it's going to take... nobody's going to be able to convince him until he hits rock bottom on his own. And that's pretty much it. He just has to hit rock bottom. He has to hit a point where, like, he can actually sit down and think about what he's saying and why it's dumb before anything changes. There's really no reason to cover this dude or talk about this guy anymore. That's pretty much all that has to happen, brother. That's pretty much it.
They never know why they think I'm retarded. They just say I'm retarded, overwrite me, and then move on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's generally how it works. When I watch something that's incredibly stupid on somebody's stream, I turn it off and move on to the next thing. And so, no, I'm gonna finish.
If you're a commentary channel, maybe you should have some points to bring up.
If you want me to do an actual debate with you where I go and grab clips, I would normally, but everything's deleted, so a little bit hard to quote all the dumb shit you said. But absolutely, I would watch your stuff. I'm like, this is inaccurate, and I would just move on, stop watching it. Now you can go watch a debate with Destiny, and you could probably find a bunch of stuff that you said that was dumb. Just because I can't quote it to you doesn't mean you didn't say it. Just because my memory can't remember doesn't mean it didn't happen.
You're getting a little heated about it. I can remember all of Destiny's points that he brings up and tell you why I think he's wrong about it.
No, you can't. You just have an interpretation of Destiny's points that you remember. This is something that Sneako does a lot. He just has he has what he thinks the public interpretation of his perspective is, and then he argues against it. That's why every time he's like goes to argue with somebody, he always just calls him a bot. You have the same perspective as everybody else, blah, 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 blah. He does that to everybody because he doesn't actually listen to what you're saying. He has a preconceived notion of what he thinks you're going to say, and he argues off that even if you explain to him point blank that like that's not how you feel. Like, he doesn't remember all these different talking points. He just has very like boring, bland, like public perceptions of what like he thinks you're gonna say. It's just stupid.
Okay, well, congratulations, you got a better memory than me.
Yeah, I know, but for you to have such a strong opinion about what I believe and to say it's dumb, stupid, retarded, and all this, and then not know one reason is pretty predictable. And we've heard it over and over again. DGG, everybody in this chat has heard it over and over again. I'll question people, why do you think it's stupid? They don't know.
I think there's a different barrier for like the expectation of knowing particular things depending on the environment you're confronting somebody at. So like, no, hold on. So like, here's the thing, right? So this is something that I'll repeat a lot on stream. So my first relationship, or my second one, my kid's mom, got really physically abusive. There's a lot of crazy shit that happened, and we fought over the dumbest things. It was so stupid every fucking time. It was like the most random stupid shit. But and it was a lot. I called the cops on her 3 times. It was a crazy relationship. But if somebody would say, "Oh, really? You fought over dumb shit? What'd you fight over? Name 2 things." I actually don't know if I could. I don't know. I don't remember the specific.
True, yeah.
I think as humans, I think we remember kind of these broad like characterizations of things, but we don't archive like every single individual fact. Because
well, that's true. I understand what he's saying. You kind of remember the emotion associated with the thing that happened rather than the thing that happened. The problem is that sometimes, I wouldn't run defense like on this particular point too hard. Because, like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. You remember how you felt about a moment, and that can definitely inspire, like, an understanding of what happened there. But, like, if you look at the situation where that girl that had the experience with Myron, where Ethan pretended it was sexual assault because he's an idiot, that's an instance of that happening. But like, so what happens is you remember the situation through the emotions you had in the situation, and that girl was like disrespected by Myron. He made fun of her body after he lifted up her shirt, laughed at it, all that, and so now she has like a negative perception of the entire event. So you can't like fundamentally go on the point of like, oh well, you don't remember the specifics, but you remember the emotion attached. That's definitely true, but that doesn't mean that the specifics are, you know, generally true. I mean, in this instance, I would say they would be, but like, you know, I would say not as a fundamental thing. Play. Ah!
We're not computers. We usually come away from a feeling. We usually come away from an event with a certain feeling or emotion about it, and that's all we really take with
I like
us.
how Abba did going into this call, with a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings about how I'm stupid, but nothing to back.
Well, no. Hold on. To be clear, wait. Abba came to this call to argue. Really? Did he really just? Oh, he mad.
Yeah, he left. Okay, that's it. That's all I have left. Dude, I didn't want to watch that, to be honest with you. It's so fucking boring. Yeah, man. Like I said, like I had said before, bro. It's just like one of those things where if you can explain to Sneako why he's wrong, it's only gonna make him a better person. And like, so you know, I would tell people to stop, you know, spending all the mental energy trying to get this guy to understand why he was wrong, because it's not gonna help anybody but him. And people have already gone above and beyond to try to explain to him why he's wrong. He just doesn't care. So you know, jokes on him. He's just gonna become a fucking shittier person. You know, I say like every time, hopefully he gets some sense knocked into him and like he changes his shit and becomes more respectful. But like at the end of the day, who fucking cares? Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and a special shout out to all my Patreon patrons, my YouTube members, and my Twitch subs. If you'd like to learn how you can contribute even more than you already are by simply watching the video, you can check the links down below, which will unlock a special feature depending on the platform that you subscribe to, such as Patreon here, that will get your name right here on this wall. Thank you so much, guys, again for watching, and have a good one.